Sumit is now saying he might be facing time in jail because of his ex-wife. Guys, what is up? Happy Friday, Max the Celeb Talk Guy here, and y'all already know there was a preview for the upcoming episode of 90 Day Fiance, and in this preview, oh my god, we got to see some very good stuff. Surprisingly, a lot with Jenny and Sumit. They have kind of been the quiet couple, I feel like, but now we're starting to see some stuff. So number one with Jenny and Sumit, all of a sudden, he is still bringing up this divorce. I don't know what the deal is with marriages in India, but I guess if you get married in India, it's like extremely difficult to get divorced. At least it is for Sumit, because he still cannot finalize his divorce, and now he's even talking about the possibility of number one, having to give his ex-wife $500 a month, and number two, he might even possibly face like really serious charges, I believe, if he cannot pay the $500 a month. Now, some of this stuff is actually going to have to wait until this upcoming Sunday because we only got to see bits and pieces, but what it sounds like is him and his wife came to an agreement, or his ex-wife, I should say, came to an agreement. They both agreed on the terms of their divorce, but then right before they signed the deal and they inked the deal, it sounds like his ex-wife backpedaled a little bit and was like, no, I need maybe some alimony. I don't really know because they don't have any kids, I don't believe, so it wouldn't be child support. So maybe some kind of an alimony deal, I don't know. And she wants like $400 or $500 a month, which obviously for anyone is a ton of money just to, be throwing off to some random person. And so, he was freaking out. He told Jenny, she was really freaking out, like, oh my god, we cannot afford that. And then he was hinting like, you know what, this is really honestly serious because it could lead to like, I don't know, serious charges that could get him end up in jail. So I don't know what is going to happen with these two. I know one thing though, that Sumit has been talking about going to jail for like the past 2 years now, and I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I don't know if he did have to go to jail. I don't know what happens, but I do know the guy for some reason just keeps on talking about it. So either it's completely fake, or maybe he will one of these times actually end up in jail. And surprisingly, that was not all the drama with Jenny and Sumit, because Jenny also pulled a little something out of her pocket and just randomly out of nowhere gave him a ring. Well, actually, I shouldn't say randomly, because it happened after Jenny and Sumit were talking about their romantic life in the bedroom, if you know what I'm talking about. And oh my god, you guys, if you can watch this preview, I beg of you to, because it was so funny. I wish I could play the clip right here. It was disgusting and just funny and awkward and weird what they were talking about. So yeah, they were first talking about that side of their relationship, enough said. Then they kind of transitioned into, all of a sudden, Jenny, she pulled out a big old, ring and said, hey, I got something for you, Sumit, and it's like a promise ring. And she was saying, Sumit, you're so lucky that I'm giving you, this, that, I'm promising myself to you. And she was all happy and excited because she was giving him a ring, and they were kind of doing their ring ceremony, which, Sumit always keeps talking about. And Sumit saw it and was like, oh my god, no, because we made a plan. We had this plan that we were gonna, stick to, of us getting married and doing a real ring ceremony. So he was like, I can't even accept this. And Jenny was just like, well, why? I mean, I bought it for you. I want you to have it. So Jenny was super offended. And I feel like Sumit was like, oh my god, I have to actually kind of marry this woman. Now, I know a lot of you guys feel that Sumit does love Jenny, and maybe he does. I personally just feel like with all of Sumit's constant backpedaling and him constantly having this excuse and that excuse and this lie and that lie, it's like, is he ever going to actually marry her? My take is maybe, but I could also see him constantly just switching it and doing this and that, and then eventually Jenny will just get sick and tired and just say, whatever, we will never get married. So I don't know what is going to happen with these two. I have heard really vague rumors that they might have actually gotten married. I don't know, yes or no. We're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, Jenny and Sumit, a lot of bizarre and hilarious drama. Comment below what you guys think, though. I mean, come on. I know a surprising amount of you guys actually do like Jenny and Sumit together. I don't hate them. It's just kind of like, you know what? He has lied to her like 1 billion times. Is he ever telling the truth? What does he really think? I don't know if we are ever really going to truly know. I am curious, though, to see how it plays out. So definitely make sure to comment below your guys' thoughts. And for the rest of this preview, we got to see a handful of other couples, starting off with Kenny and Armando. Finally, these two guys and Armando's daughter, Hannah, packed up their stuff and they went over to their condo, apartment, Airbnb, whatever. I don't know if I don't know what it is. If it's a short-term lease, I don't know what it really is, but they're staying at that condo type place, that house, and they brought Hannah over. It was pretty sweet. Honestly, it was pretty cute because Armando said that, you know, Hannah's never had her own bedroom. They always shared a place before. Well, now she gets her own bed, her own bedroom. It was really cool to see. She was all gung-ho and happy, and you know, Kenny was ecstatic and so was Armando. So it was a sweeter-ish moment. However, it didn't stay sweet for long because we got to see in the rest of the episode that Kenny, Armando, and Hannah, they finally go out together. They're like grabbing lunch, and Hannah goes up to Armando, who, let me just preface and say, she's super young. She's like 5 or 6 years old, but she goes up to her dad, Armando, and says, hey, you're either going to get me like candy or you're going to get me a new, you know, I don't know, dress or something like that. I can't remember what it was. But she didn't say like, you know, can you? She was like, no, no, no. You're either going to get me this or that. Now, I don't know if TLC just cut it so it looked like she was saying it kind of in a rude way. I don't really know. But it looked like it wasn't really the most polite way to say it. And immediately Kenny was like, what? Because the funny thing was Armando was like, okay, yeah, for sure. And then Kenny was like, oh my God, no, you are being pushed over. She is walking all over you. So you need to man up a little bit. And you could just kind of see, you know, now they're co-parenting, I guess. But Armando, he's been a single parent for a while. And so he probably parents his way. Kenny, I'm sure he has, what, 4 kids? He parents his own way. And so there might be a little bit of tension going there because Hannah's a single child. Now, notoriously, I hate to say it, but I'm sorry if you are a single child, but some single kids, you know, they're a little bit spoiled. And so I don't want to say it yes or no, but it's like they probably have different parenting styles, and you could just see a little bit of tensions flared up. On another kind of interesting note with Kenny and Armando, really quick before I go to the next couple, is Frauded by TLC, who I love dearly. I still like her. I have nothing against her. She made some comments about Kenny and Armando after the last episode, because on the last episode we got to see Kenny and Armando leave Armando's family, and they were hysterical. They were so emotional, and she made some comments like, you know what? I mean, it's like they're just going a couple hours away. It's not like they're leaving permanently, like, you know, like something horrible just happened. They're just going away. You know, she even kind of thought that they just had a short-term rental. It wasn't that big of a deal, and I believe Armando saw the comments and he got really offended and upset, and so it was kind of a little bit of a drama this past week that I didn't even bother to talk about because I am just neutrally kind of in the middle. Don't get me wrong, I like Kenny and Armando, and I like Frauded by TLC, and I kind of agree with her. I know, call me rude and mean. I kind of do agree with her in some little bit of a fashion because I can see both sides. I mean, the way that Kenny and Armando, mainly just Armando and his family were acting, it was very emotional, but it's like they're only going a couple hours away and they're not going there permanently. And if it just was a short-term rental, I kind of understand what Frauded by TLC is talking about. But on the flip side, I do like them. So I get it. I see both sides. I know y'all are probably going to say, oh my God, you're heartless and you don't love them. I do still love them. Oh God. Then we saw one of just the worst couples to ever be on the show, and that is Brittany and Yaz. And Brittany is still in. Now she's in Florida. She was in Chicago, then she went to Florida. So it's like she is just bouncing around Florida, you know, the US at this point. First she was in Chicago, now she's gone to Florida. I thought she was gonna go to Chicago for like 3 or 4 days. Well, now she's been in the US for like a month. So I don't know what she is doing. She, you know, told Yaz that, hey, you gotta step up to the plate, you gotta start buying me more stuff, you gotta put a roof over my head, and you gotta buy me a ticket back to Jordan. And Yaz was just like, okay, well, I don't have enough money in my pocket right now to go get a place for me to live, because according to Yazan, his mom and dad kicked him out of their house and also said, you cannot work at my fish market anymore, because Yazan apparently was working at his dad's fish market. The weird thing is, a bunch of you guys commented, and now I kind of remember myself, so at the beginning of this season, Yazan said he has like an engineering degree or something. So why was he working at his dad's fish market? And the weirdest part is, after his dad fired him, he ended up getting a job as a taxi driver and also in like a barber shop. So once again, if he is an engineer, what's he doing in a barber shop? It doesn't make much sense. But supposedly, his dad kicked him out, his dad fired him, and now he is working 2 jobs just to be able to put some food on the table and put a roof over his head. So, Brittany and Yazan, they finally talked on last night's episode. They were FaceTiming. Obviously, if Yazan is working as a taxi driver and at a barbershop and he's working so many hours, I can only imagine he probably is really upset. He's not happy. So their conversation did not go very well. Yazan was really mad, and he basically just told Brittany that, hey, if you want to come back here, I am, making all these changes. If you want to come back here and be with me, you got to change yourself. You can't post these pictures on Instagram anymore. You can't be doing this or that. It's the same issues that they've had from the beginning. I don't even know why they're still talking. At this point, if I was Brittany, I would just find somewhat of a company, a packing company in Jordan, tell them, pack my stuff up and ship it back over to the US. I'm not even going to go back over there because they have no shot. They have no business being together. I don't know what is going to be the last straw, but more than likely, I can only imagine Brittany and Yazan, they are not going to be together much longer. And then we got to see Ariela and Benjamin, and I don't really know what I think of these two. What happened was, Ariela, she had their amazing baby, super cute baby. He looks just like Benjamin. We have now seen pictures of the baby. He's like 10 months old. I'll put one right there so y'all can see for yourself. Really cute baby. They just brought the baby back to their apartment. Ariela obviously just had the thing. She's exhausted. I don't blame her one bit. And one thing leads to another, and Benjamin's entire extended family ended up being in their bedroom. It was the weirdest thing, kind of, but Benjamin was like, hey, it's the culture, this is what happens. After you have a baby, your entire family comes here. They want to hold the baby. They want to see the baby. They were even making the family like goat or something. It was really kind of just strange, but hey, that is the Ethiopian culture. And so for us Americans, like Ariela, she was just like, well, what are they doing here? I'm exhausted. I want to go to sleep. They need to get out of here. So she was not being very polite, and his family seemed sweet enough. They were definitely kind of pressuring Ariela somewhat on some of the religion comments, because if you don't know, Ariela is Jewish and Benjamin is somewhat of a Christian Catholic, Greek Orthodox Catholic thing. I don't even know exactly, but he's not Jewish. And so, Benjamin and his entire family, they want to baptize this baby, but obviously Ariela, not being a Catholic or Christian, she does not want to. So they were kind of bickering back and forth on that. Finally, Benjamin's aunts were like, well, you know what? You can baptize the baby just under the father's faith, and it won't have anything to do with you, and, which that kind of makes sense, kind of, but it kind of doesn't. So Ariela and Benjamin, yet again, they're one of those couples that they have so many differences, no business being together, and I really just don't know what's going to happen with these two. The one thing I will say about Ariela and Benjamin is, the truth is, the reality is, Benjamin, he came from a lower class upbringing, and Ariela was the complete polar opposite. I don't want to say that Benjamin is completely using Ariela, but I definitely think that he, sees that her family has money. They were a nurse and a doctor, and he finds that a very good plus. And so I think he is just kind of leaning towards the fact that more than likely they'll probably come back to the US, and then, hey, she'll have some money that they can live off. Maybe they can kind of live off her family. I hate to say that because I do like Benjamin, but I feel like that's kind of how he's looking at it. Like, you know what, Ariela, she is not the most easiest person to please. She's constantly being upset. She's constantly trying to fight and nag and whatnot. But I think Benjamin, he's such a nice, sweet guy. He's probably just like, at the end of the day, her family has money, and we're probably going to go back to the US, and maybe when we get there, they can kind of really support us and take care of us. I hate to say that. I hate to think that, but Benjamin has even himself kind of hinted and suggested at that fact. So So we're gonna have to wait and see. But the one thing I will say with Ariela and Benjamin is Ariela posted some pictures with some magazine, I want to say Us Weekly, and it was with the baby, and it was really recent baby pictures, and they did not look like it was in Ethiopia. I have never been to Ethiopia, but I always thought Ethiopia is a little bit more kind of desert-y kind of, and this was like greenery and grass and pine trees. It looked like New Jersey or like upstate New York. It did not look like Ethiopia. So more than likely, especially because Ariela is so close with her family, probably once all of this stay-at-home stuff got picked up and you know, released and whatnot, and you could leave your house and whatnot, she probably flew back over to the States. Maybe Benjamin came with her if he could. Maybe he stayed. You know, I could honestly, because Ariela is so close with her family, I could actually see him staying and her just coming back with the baby, and I'm just trying to figure out how they can get the visa or something, because I have also kind of, you know, said a rumor too that they might have actually also gotten married. So I wouldn't be shocked, long story short, if Ariela came back with the baby and then maybe one thing led to another. Maybe they did get married and maybe eventually Benjamin will come over to the US. That is what I could probably see happening. But like always, we're going to have to wait and see. So guys, make sure to comment your thoughts below if you agree or disagree. Also, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and also like the video. It really helps me and this channel out so much. And also, we have a new episode of Love After Lockup on tonight. And y'all, I am so excited. So guys, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for many more videos.